SuperFlex best ball tournament, $10,000 to first place on Drafters Fantasy. We're going to see if we can't take home the winner here. Draft some quarterbacks, full point PPR, so I can still draft some wide receivers, maybe a little zero RB. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. Let's have a little fun on this Friday afternoon. SuperFlex time. Everybody loves a little different SuperFlex tournament. Hello, good afternoon. I'm going to be honest. This is the first SuperFlex draft I've done on Drafters, so I'm pretty excited. You guys are going to be getting all of the EV from me. I don't know the ADPs. I don't know. I haven't put together a super strong strategy. We're going to figure this out as we go. I haven't even looked at the ADPs. I'm going to try to fire some these SuperFlex drafts here over these final 2 weeks. I'm going to pull up so we can look at the structure of the tournament really quickly before the draft starts. First of all, it needs. Oh, we do need 8. We do need 8 for. I think I registered. Oops, that's baseball. We don't want to draft baseball. Yeah, looks like we need 8 more for this SuperFlex draft. If you're watching and want to come join and steal my $5.55, if you have not signed up for Drafters, highly recommended. I probably talk about it a little bit too much, but it's hard to even like overemphasize the fact that we have this new SuperFlex tournament, which they just launched, which is just amazing to have another platform trying out some innovative things and giving us a late season SuperFlex tournament and a SuperFlex tournament that's full point PPR, still with 3 wide receivers. If you played on Underdog and drafted in their SuperFlex tournaments, it's only 2 wide receivers. So it really kind of changes the dynamic. And then Drafters has their, as you see at the top of the screen there, $20 Drafters Million NFL Best Ball Championship. And it is the one tournament that is just absolutely gonna overlay by a ton, right? I mean, you can see it again on your screen, or for if you're audio listeners, 22,578 entries so far into the Drafters Million, and it needs to get to 55,008. So not sure that we're going to get there in these next less than 2 weeks by September 8th. And so that's only a good thing for all of us. You also see on the side of your screen that Drafters is giving away some free tickets to those who enter multiple teams. If you enter 10 drafts, you get 1 free ticket. And then at the 25 draft milestone, at the 50 draft milestone, you get another free ticket. You enter 100, you get to 100, and you get 3 free tickets. And then if you max the tournament, so 150 is the max amount of drafts you can do. If you max the tournament, you will get $150 in Drafters cash. Plus they'll give you a free t-shirt. Probably one of these free t-shirts. And if you have not signed up at Drafters, you can use promo code SPIKE. It's down in the description. I'll put it up on the screen in just a second. If you have not used, or if you have not signed up for Drafters yet, 100% deposit bonus. So you can deposit up to $100 and they're going to give you $100 for free. So we're just like stacking up all of these insane deals on Drafters. And that's why I think it's important to talk about it. You know, I am chasing all the big prizes, right? $1 million on DraftKings, $2 million on Underdog, playing in a lot of the different tournaments. I think us having all these different options is awesome. And I'm playing Best Ball Mania, I'm playing the DraftKings Millie, etc. Right? I talk about it all the time. But if we want this game to grow, we want best ball, we want to continue to have all these different options, and we want, to get our money in as best as possible, right? At the end of the day, we're playing this. It's fun and it's a hobby, but I wouldn't spend all this time if I wasn't trying to make money. And as it stands right now, what Drafters is offering is really just kind of the greatest combination of promos that exist in best ball. So take advantage of those if you have not yet. So they have the SuperFlex contest, right? Real quick, we'll run down the we need 4 more. It looks like 4 more for the SuperFlex tournament. So SuperFlex is the again, you see here $5.55 per team. $10,000 to first place, a $50,000 total prize pool. So still getting 10 grand to first place is pretty nice. It is still 20 rounds, right? It is still the same cumulative scoring for drafters. So just score the most amount of points from week 1 to week 17 and you win $10,000, right? You can enter 150 times. The big thing that I mentioned before is that instead of their normal starting roster being kind of the standard, right? 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and a flex is their normal in the other tournament. That's their normal lineup. They took that flex spot and they turned it into a super flex. So you don't have a normal flex, right? Running back, wide receiver, tight end. You just have the super flex. So that actually kind of is the opposite of what we saw on, say, Underdog when they launched their super flex. They kept the flex, but they took away a wide receiver. And so here, especially when it is full point PPR, your quarterbacks and your wide receivers are more important here, given the scoring and the starting lineup configuration on Drafters. So shout out Rick doesn't like Superflex. NS none Superflex fish, but I'll hop in. I too am a Superflex fish. Devin, look we're all in this together. Devin, I'm terrible at Superflex. LOL. If I could post something in the chat to summarize my belief of my skills on Superflex, it's probably that too. So we're all here to figure it out together, right? That's the whole point is we're gonna figure this out. See, we got somebody who's actually good. Updog is gonna carry us. We'll just listen to him. We'll just listen to him talk. One more to fill this Superflex. So that's nice. B Kurt, you guys are making me want to deposit. Scott says just a worse business version of the Pomeranian Underdog zero rake acquisition model. Yeah. And Updog is good at Superflex, but not in his home league. It's funny you mentioned the home league thing. I think I talked about this before. I haven't won any of my home leagues in like years. And it's to the point where, especially now, so like the last year, right, and this year, like I've always worked in DFS and played very, very serious fantasy sports, but doing DFS shows and doing DFS content and like a little bit of sports betting and stuff like that, I wasn't quite held to the standard of like you're supposed to be the fantasy football guy, you know. It was just different. Like DFS is just different. Now I'm streaming 4 or 5 times a week, year round, about fantasy football, basically, and it's like looks like it filled. It's like, and then I go to my home leagues, and it's really, really a tough scene when you show up to your home league, and everybody is. Oh, I went to the wrong thing. God damn it! I keep always doing that, clicking the wrong button here. All right. Here we go. 103. Thank the Lord. I really did not want to be at the back end of this draft and just getting dominated by you guys that are all taking quarterbacks. So anyway, I actually have 2 home league drafts on Sunday. It's a little misleading, I guess. They're dynasty leagues, and so it's not quite as fun. However, I'm feeling pretty good about those teams. Finally, we went through a little bit of a rebuild. Then I got an auction on Monday night, and then one more big home league draft the following week. But I've just been getting honestly smoked in like all my home leagues. I finished like in the middle, anywhere from like 4th to 10th or whatever in every single one of my home leagues. Patrick Mahomes 101. Hello. That's interesting. Damn. All right. I'm taking Lamar. I am taking Lamar. Rick, great question. While I got quite a while till my pick comes back around, Rick asked, when will you start doing NBA best ball content? I've already started writing the very first, like kind of not beginner's guide, but basics, like a basics, a how-to, if you will, for NBA best ball. The first wave of rankings are already up on the site. I do need to update them for the Chet Holmgren injury, and I probably need to make some tweaks with the Kevin Durant news. But I won't bore you guys too much with all the NBA talk here. But soon. There are rankings, like I said, already up on the site, and I'm in the midst of starting it. I just got a lot of football stuff still to get to, but you'll be seeing some NBA stuff very, 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 very soon. So that's Scott with the 101 taking Mahomes. I mean, I think I would still take Josh Allen, but I've really come around on Mahomes, and Lamar is your second. That's interesting. I think Josh Allen is definitely still my number one, but like I said, with Mahomes, man, the Chiefs, every single time I see the Chiefs, hear reports about the Chiefs, right? Everybody is so focused in on like this backfield stuff, which I get. We're trying to find the Chiefs running back because we know how much value that player has. But like the offense as a whole, I think is just going to be an absolute smash running through Mahomes. I think they now have weapons at every receiver position. Like even if McCole Hardman as the number 4, just kind of like as more of a gadget player in his speed, as opposed to needing him alongside just 2 weapons. I'm just so bullish on the Chiefs. And so I've done Mahomes. I still don't have him ranked above some of these other rushers like in my rankings, but I've made it a really big point to get lots more Chief stacks than I had. Let's see who is in here. Let me move this up a little bit. And yeah, Rick, I'm really excited for NBA. So you will be getting plenty of NBA content for sure. B. Kurt was telling Devin to grab a wide receiver. What pick are you, Devin? What's your username? Oh, Davis. Are you the last Davis 410 there at the end? Okay, it's back to me. Damn it, man. Kirk Cousins already gone. This is terrible, guys. What are we doing? I'm taking Diggs. We're taking Diggs. See, I do hate this where like I get Lamar. You're obviously happy with Lamar, but then we're getting into the Cousins and Staffords and Rodgers and Carrs and stuff already in the second round. This is my biggest struggle with SuperFlex. It's painful for me to this balancing act between obviously quarterbacks are simultaneously both the most important position and the one where your you can really vary up your strategy, right? Just because it's the most important, it's actually kind of like running back in like on Underdog in a regular draft. Just because it's the most important doesn't mean you have to take it like in the first 2 rounds or whatever. I'm going to do something a little bit more fun here, and we're going to take Kyle Pitts. I don't think he's coming back around to me at pick 46. I could certainly be wrong, but I don't think he's coming back around to me. And given that I'm we're in this. I'm gonna be locked out probably of quarterback anyway, and so I'm gonna be taking a bunch of shots. I kind of like what you see what Updog did here, where he took CMC and Eckler, and kind of went with what we would kind of call a zero quarterback-esque build, and then he has those 2 running backs locked in. He doesn't need to take a lot of volume at running back, especially because you only start 2 and there is no flex, right? So it's just CMC and Eckler are his running backs. He doesn't have to worry too much about running back for the rest of the draft. So now you can just attack quarterback with volume, right? I know I've seen him talk about Kenny Pickett, right? You're taking all these stabs on all these guys for the kind of the rest of the draft because your running backs are just locked in. I prefer to do that not at running back, but I understand that thesis. And so that's why I took Kyle Pitts. I know some people would take Andrews. That's okay. I prefer Kyle Pitts. And honestly, I mean, it's just fucking fun to draft Kyle Pitts. Who doesn't like a team that has Kyle Pitts on it? But now I just have that superstar tight end. I'm going to take one more tight end like really late in the tournament. I don't ever have to sweat tight end again. And I can kind of piece together that super flex with whatever quarterbacks kind of however it works. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm tapping 3 quarterbacks with 3 different buys and being done. Is it very strong strategy? I've seen a lot of different, ideas on Superflex. And like I said, I definitely don't have the answer. I'm learning just like everybody else is. We're all figuring this out as we go. I don't think that there's any real true best ball experts, period. I certainly don't think that there's any true Superflex best ball experts. And the other thing about these drafts is every draft room is so different, right? You get this one's pretty damn QB heavy, right? Justin Fields going in the second round, Kirk Cousins going in the second round, Derek Carr, at the 203. You don't get that in every room. It's very much like kind of like just a normal DraftKings room. Sometimes, there's wild drafts and crazy value everywhere, and sometimes it's pretty normal. That's how I feel Superflex, the room is really going to dictate how you approach things. And so I actually like to do kind of like what I did, and like what I see now, what like quite a few different people are doing, right? Like kind of an anchor quarterback, like a Bolt. We got a couple of anchor quarterbacks here. I think Chris said he's here. Yeah, Chris is in the chat from the 108, starting with Russ, and then when you can get Russ and then Cooper Kupp in the second round because everybody's getting quarterbacks, that's pretty sweet. I definitely don't have the perfect optimal strategy or anything, but I think there's a lot of fun different ways that you can go about Superflex. Yeah, these are Omar says I'm pick 10 getting abused for taking Derek Carr. JT, Derek Carr, Mark Andrews, Saquon Barkley. I mean, there's worse. There's very much worse starts than that. See, now I really like. Wow. Mike Williams, DJ Moore. Everybody knows I love Javonte. But I think I'm going to take Mike Williams. See, this is the point where I struggle to figure out, especially because all you shitheads are in the freaking draft and in the chat. This is where I don't know what the right answer is in terms of how to handle this this Superflex spot, this second quarterback. And I think these are the biggest decisions though in all of these drafts is like you get to this spot where it's this really dead. I mean, Matt Ryan is the best quarterback left by ADP. It feels truly sickening to take Matt Ryan over like DJ Moore or whatever the one. God damn it. I was absolutely going to take Gabe. Of course, I was going to take Gabe. That is painful. That hurts my soul. So now I'm definitely going to take Sutton, which is fine. I'm totally fine with Sutton. But as you guys know, I'm really just, it's Gabe Davis season. Let's just stop fucking around and just take him. You know what I mean? I'm triggered. I'm shook by the Gabe snipe. That's painful. That hurts, guys. That hurts. Happy Friday, assholes. So We started Lamar Jackson, Stephon Diggs, Lamar Jackson, Stephon Diggs, Kyle Pitts, Mike Williams, Cortland Sutton. So do feel pretty good. About those guys. Obviously, you guys know me and know that I wanted Gabriel Davis. It's my guy. But, I mean, Cortland Sutton's a pretty good consolation prize. But like I was saying, this is the trickiest part where, so like you see Updog takes the plunge of Matt Ryan because he needs the quarterback, right? And he has him stacked with Michael Pittman, which is nice. But you're like, it's this game of double dutch, right? You're like, I know I need to dip I know I need to get in there and get out with that other quarterback, but like, what's the room going to give me? I want to get in, but I want to get in at the right time. And it's all a guessing game. You're like, do you dip your toes in here in this 5th round with the Daniel Jones, Mac Jones, this kind of crappy tier of quarterback? Because you do need one of those guys. But, if you have a team like me or a team like or a team like a lot of people have here, but it's like, that's the trickiest part, because you can ruin your team by just taking that guy because you need him, right? The room doesn't care. I think it was Pat Kerrane that said this. The room doesn't care. The room and I'll add on to his point, like the room and the player pool do not give a shit what you need on your team. Right? So like, I need a quarterback. I have to take one. I feel uncomfortable because these guys are flying off the board. But like, if you're taking them just because and just to take them over, like, I'm not saying anybody is wrong here, but it's like George Kittle and Darren Waller were there. Deontay Johnson's there. I mean, I don't, you guys, I'm so on James Conner, but like, James Conner is there in the soon to be in the 70s. Yeah, Juju just goes. Jerry Jeudy is still here, right? Terry McLaurin, Chris Godwin, Rashad Bateman. There's so many good players that it's that delicate balance. Like, you could be passing on the league winner, Jerry Jeudy, Juju, or whatever, Deontay, because you felt uncomfortable at quarterback, or vice versa, is you could, if you get locked out of quarterback, you could have just lost those $5. It's the most interesting. I really do enjoy kind of the thought experiment of the strategy around these tournaments because of that. It's like, Lord knows, I don't know. I don't know exactly what the right answer is. And I think that the answer is that there isn't a right answer. You kind of have to play your room and try some different things out. I do not know what I'm going to do, though. I do not like these. Zeke goes. So I'm definitely going to take Bateman here to stack with Lamar, which is nice. That was why I took Kyle Pitts, because I thought I could get Bateman later. So that's nice. We'll see what kind of happens here. Let's take a look at quarterback. Tannehill, Goff, Zach Wilson, Davis Mills, Carson Wentz. Good Lord. Yikes. Excuse me. All right. I'm doing it. I'm taking my guy, Marcus Mariota, stacked with Kyle Pitts. I think he's, in my opinion, kind of one of what I would call the cheat codes in this. He goes late because of the concerns over Desmond Ridder and the concerns of the Falcons. But again, which I've talked about this on a few different drafters shows, when it's cumulative scoring, we know Mariota is going to start the season. When it is cumulative scoring, I think some of the bias from the playoff tournaments is carrying over for Mariota and for Trubisky or Pickett. That one's a little bit trickier because we actually don't really know who's going to start. I feel fairly confident it's Mitch, but I think that there's like Marcus Mariota, while he's playing as a starting quarterback, should not go by Carson Wentz and Davis Mills and Jared Goff. He is a far superior fantasy quarterback. I'm not saying he's a better real life quarterback. And I obviously understand that there are concerns that he may not be on your he may be on the bench later in the season, but it's not like he's going to be on the bench in week 5. You're going to get quite a few games out of him, and in this format, cumulative scoring, that's huge. Getting that SuperFlex filled by a high quality running quarterback, high fantasy quality running quarterback. Like, you're going to be fine with Marcus Mariota scores most weeks. And so I'm really, really high on him. And then you just kind of like, who's to say he isn't still starting later in the season? Maybe they steal a couple of wins that we didn't expect for them to steal. And then it's just, absolute stone cold smash. Let's see. Updog got sniped on. Oh, Tyreek. Yeah, you have Tua. Devin says, how's my QB, RB, Brady, Dak, Mixon, Kamara, Kittle, Waller. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I would recommend getting some. I'm a little worried about your wide receivers. Anthony says, I wonder what the win rates are by draft position. Feels more important in SuperFlex to get an early pick. Yeah, or at least not a like, no offense, Devin, but like, and I like Brady and Dak just fine, right? But if you get locked out of these kind of what I would call the elite tier, which we can argue about if Burrow's in there, right? But like, there's Brady, even as good as he is, just cannot finish. I mean, he threw for 10 million yards and millions of touchdowns last year, and he was the QB 5 or 6 or something like that. Dak, same way. These guys just can't finish at the very, very tippy top. So as long as you're getting, it's kind of like a regular draft where you want to be in that top 5 to get one of the top 5 players. And now we're out of quarterbacks, right? Yeah, we're definitely out of quarterbacks. Running back, no, thank you. It's looking like Devonta Smith here for me. Yep, for sure, Devonta Smith. End of a wide receiver tier for me. The room just donated to my wide receiver room. Yeah. You started JT, Derek Carr, Mark Andrews, Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones. So no wide receivers in the first 5 rounds, and still got Deontay Johnson, Darnell Mooney, and Elijah Moore. I like it. It looks pretty. It does look pretty. Yeah. So 2 things. Devin says, with no playoffs, I feel like quarterback wide receiver correlation is less important than the other. That is true and not true. It is less important for those weekly spikes that like mattered the most in the playoffs. Kirk, Tony Pollard, Cole Kmet go. I mean, I cannot stomach these. I might take Chase Edmonds, but let me look at wide receiver. Don't love that. It's actually a kind of bad tier here. I'm going to take Deshaun Watson, which pains me, but I think he's the right pick for me on this team. Having Lamar, Mariota just needs to get me at least to Watson, right? I don't know if he's the right pick at pick 100, but he just needs to get me. Mariota needs to play 11 weeks, right? To get me to the time when Watson is back, and then you just need a good close to the season from Watson, and obviously you're taking Lamar's score every week. If there was I would have taken someone else if there was somebody that stuck out, but we're just right in this dead zone at running back, and I don't want to force it. It's kind of back to the point of the room doesn't give a shit what you need. I definitely like, a couple of those running backs, but you don't want to force running back because you need running back. You know what I mean? That's really why like the dead zone exists and stuff, is that people force running backs who are the dead zone type backs in rounds that they shouldn't force them solely because they need them. And that's kind of what happens. And it can happen at quarterback too. I mean, it's possible I just did that at quarterback. Anyway, just to double back on the this, Devin, what the no playoffs, the correlation is less important. It's not, I don't believe that it's less important. It's important in a different way. Because think about what a winning season, like how it comes together with offenses and with individual players. It's kind of like a rising tide lifts all boats type of situation. When you find Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford is just going to have a good season, right? Or the inverse. If Patrick Mahomes is going to have the smash season, his weapons are going to have good seasons. Which one of them? I don't know. Which ones of them? I don't know. But the big seasons from a fantasy scoring perspective are correlated. Quarterback, wide receiver, quarterback, tight end, whatever. Offenses. Look at the Bucs last year. Brady outperforms, is just awesome passing. And everybody smashed. The whole offense. Gronk, Lenny, Godwin, Evans, AB, everybody smashed in that offense except Rojo. And I think we're learning why pretty quickly. But everybody smashes when an offense smashes. And so when a quarterback smashes, he elevates the entire, or vice versa, right? When Jamar Chase is just a superstar, he helps Joe Burrow. You know, if this coaching and Justin Jefferson takes a leap, that does help Kirk Cousins. Now you have to think about the quarterbacks as it pertains to their archetype, right? Kirk Cousins, you have to be smart about how you buy him because he just can't be a top 5 quarterback, really. But you get that seasonal correlation between those players. And when you're thinking about how cumulative scoring is made up of the weeks, right? So when Joe Burrow has the 40-point game and Jamar Chase has the 50-point game, those ceilings are correlated in that week. You're getting monster performances from those. And it's because they're correlated, right? When Joe Burrow throws the 4 touchdowns to Jamar Chase, I'm getting the spike weeks together, no pun intended, the spike weeks together with the players. And so it's kind of like the yes and no. The yes and no. Let me see here. Quarterback is officially done. I guess there's Jimmy G and some total scrubs. I am going to smash this Ramondre button, though. Pretty excited about that as the RB1. I am probably going to be smashing running back here for a little while. Currently sitting on Lamar Jackson, Marcus Mariota, Deshaun Watson. At wide receiver, Stephon Diggs, Mike Williams, Cortland Sutton, Rashad Bateman, Devonta Smith, and Kyle Pitts at tight end, with Ramondre as my RB1. Yeah. Nunn says, with the upside of wide receiver and the floor of quarterback, I'm drafting to solely play 2 running backs a week. If a running back gets into my flex, the team is probably coffins. Yep, pretty much how I feel as well, which means you need to take less running backs, even in I have a 0 RB team going, right? I'm going to take more running backs than someone who spent early capital on running backs, but even relative to I got to take Miles. How's he doing? Anybody know? Is he alive? Still not practicing. God damn. Anyway, I got to take Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders might be the death of me this year. Just might be the death of me. Can we just get the hamstring together, buddy? You're killing me. Absolutely killing me. I mean, these Eagles running backs. Can you dream of a better scenario? Can you dream of a better scenario? There's not an Eagles running back going in the top 100 picks behind the best offensive line in the NFL, give or take, with a awesome running quarterback, which we know boosts. I mean, Miles Sanders ran for more than 5 yards a carry last year. Everybody's dusted him, and I understand it. Everybody's dusted Miles Sanders. He ran for more than 5 yards a carry last year. Kenny Gainwell, Jordan Howard, Boston Scott were successful in this offense because that O-line is so good, and Jalen Hurts having his rushing and being able to run zone read and all that fun stuff just is huge for occupying the defense. Then you have borderline elite tight end talent, elite wide receiver AJ Brown on one side, elite prospect wide receiver, and Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver on the other side. What more can you? The running back should just be running fucking free. I don't care if Miles Sanders gets goal line carries. He should be having 40, 50-yard touchdowns in this offense. You can't dream of a better scenario, but it's a shit show because Sanders got hurt, Gainwell's there, Boston Scott's there. It's just a mess. But you cannot have a better scenario for running backs than the Eagles. And everybody, and none of them go in the top 100. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Antonio Gibson. I would not have minded Antonio Gibson coming back to me. Let's look at what the wide receivers are doing, though. Yeah, see, so now we're into the Dobbs, Tolbert, Gallup. Gallup is becoming a lot more interesting. Not, in case you missed it, Gallup is not going to start on the pup, which is very surprising to me. It really changes the outlook of Michael Gallup and the Cowboys. The Tyron Smith thing certainly hurts. Now we got a running back run going. But the Tyron Smith thing very much changes the outlook. But if Gallup is out there, that also helps change the outlook. I mean, you have to be able to pass protect first and foremost. But, man, it would be pretty huge for the Cowboys if Gallup's back, in those first couple of weeks. Let's see here. It is time for. Here's a question. Why does Darrell Henderson go where he goes? I know I just kind of reached a little bit ahead of a couple of these guys, but it's because I'm pretty cool with just about any of these wide receivers, and Hendo's my priority out of all of them. We keep getting reports. Why is it just the injury that has Darrell Henderson falling? Every report that comes out is more bullish on Darrell Henderson and less bullish on Cam Akers. It went from Henderson is mixing in with the ones to we have two starting running backs, 1A and 1B, Henderson and Akers, to like it might just be the Darrell Henderson show. Like he just might be the leader. I got to think about this actually. Ramondre, Miles, and Hendo. I'm taking Melvin, actually. I just want a little bit more early season juice because if Miles is really hurt and Ramondre's kind of in a committee and Hendo's kind of in a committee, I want another I really like Rashad, obviously. He's probably going to go here pretty quickly, but I do have a little bit of concern with the Bucs. I will probably talk about this too much over the course of the next couple of weeks because I just wrote about it and it's just like stuck in my brain. I can't stop thinking about it. But the Bucs are like have some really serious issues, man. Think about it. Obviously, no one expects Tom Brady to fall off, but we're talking about a 45-year-old. He's a unicorn. He's still a human being, I think. I mean, I guess I technically can't prove it. He could be a robot or an alien or whatever, but I think he's a human. And father time comes for everyone, no matter who you are. And he's 45 years old. So just some slight aging when you're at that age. I know that, he's not an athlete or whatever, but just little things, arm strength, right? Just some of the quick twitch. The little things can hurt you. and have massive impacts on him and the things that he needs to do for this offense to be elite. And honestly, he's the least of the concerns. The offensive line is a problem. So Ali Marpet, superstar left guard, retires out of nowhere in February. 28 years old when he retired. Center, Ryan Jensen, hurt, like probably out for the year. They haven't officially said exactly when he'll be back, but most of the reports are that he's probably out for the year. All Pro Bowl center. Center being very important position, especially as a veteran, especially for continuity, and especially because Brady is much worse with some of the up the middle pressure. Then Tristan Wirfs, superstar young right tackle, strained oblique. We don't know when he's going to be back. That's obviously not going to be a long-term thing, but we don't know exactly when he's going to be back. So now we got 3 offensive linemen, arguably their 3 best offensive linemen. Then Aaron Stinney, who they brought in to compete to fill in for Marpet at guard, he tears his ACL and MCL. He's out. So if we got, that's potentially 4 offensive linemen out. And now Godwin's coming back from an ACL. I know all the reports are good, but this is still a guy fresh off of an ACL injury. Russell Gage hasn't practiced in forever. Lenny's older and has miles on him. We know Julio's old. Mike Evans is not young. I think that there's a lot more risk in the Bucs. The market is it's the Bucs. Everybody keeps saying, oh, but the running backs have got so many high value touches. They have gotten those. What happens when the offensive line craters the whole offense? Those high value touches are gone. And now Brady's still going to check down and all of that. But I think I have a lot more serious and real concerns about the offense, in particular the offensive line, than other people do. Okay, back on this running back nonsense. I don't think I can do this Pacheco shit. I'm going to take Zamir White and then kind of see what happens here. I mean, shut up, Omar. This is why I can't stream draft every single day, because you assholes. Well, not only will you snipe the guys, even if I just talk about it, you'll be thinking 10 steps ahead on who I might target later. It's just rude. Just unnecessary. Let's take a look at the running back landscape. It does not look very good. Yikes. This is what I like to call the dead zone of the draft. You tell me who's a good pick here. Also, Nick Foles having ADP is really funny. Wandale, Pierce, I like those rookies. Not dipping into tight end. Quarterback, no thank you. Running back, no, I don't think so. I do kind of like Mostert, but we are going to take we're going to Wandale it up here at wide receiver. Yeah, that works. Do still need a little bit of I know. I have Diggs, Mike Williams, Cortland Sutton, Rashad Bateman, and Devonta Smith, who I feel really good about as a wide receiver group. But you do still need some depth, right? It is still best ball, and I'm only going to take these 3 quarterbacks, which really means I've banked on Marcus Mariota for 11 weeks, which is a pretty thin outcome, But that having the wide receiver depth will really help there, because just in case something happens in a week with Marcus Mariota where he does only score 6 fantasy points or whatever, hopefully getting bailed out by a big wide receiver week from 4 guys would be really helpful. Jimmy G goes. There goes Alec Pierce. Little run on some tight ends. But this part of the draft is just, honestly, that's when people talk about ADP value and all that kind of stuff. It matters, of course. But once you reach these areas of the draft, like, dude, just take your guys. Maybe earlier in the offseason, there was guys, it was a little different. But right now, with how much everything gets weeded out, right? The guys who used to go in this, I mean, I just took Zamir White. He did not used to go where I took him, right? Even Brian Robinson went in that round. Isaiah Pacheco didn't even get drafted. The draft starts to, the player pool starts to weed out because the guys emerge, right? It feels deeper earlier in the offseason. So this like range of the draft feels better in June because we don't know shit. We don't know, there's a bunch of different backs and a bunch of different wide receivers and all that kind of stuff that are being drafted. And then as we get this close to the season, the depth chart we start to see, right? We know generally who is going to make the team, who's going to be, the backup running back, who's running with the ones as wide receivers. Those guys get elevated. The guys who we thought were draftable before were, oh, fuck, can't take him anymore. Rojo. It's over for Rojo. We can't take him. And so, is that you with Jalen Warren, Chris? No. Yes. No. Gino. Chris takes Gino. I'll be honest with you. I was considering tacking on Gino, but I was going to kind of see if it would be like a big time fall. Drew Lock. Up dog, you get locked out of quarterback, brother? Tua? This is the danger of the old zero quarterback strategy. Tua, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, Jacoby Brissett, and Drew Lock. I mean, it's totally fine, but certainly probably going to be giving away some points there at the position. You guys know I love me some Zay Jones. What round is this? 16. Okay. Take Zay. Now I am sitting on a 3 quarterback, 5 running back, 7 wide receiver, 1 tight end. I will definitely be taking 1 more tight end. And then it's kind of open after that. I'm planning on sticking at 3 quarterbacks, but 5 running backs and 7 wide receivers. What do you think about this? Obviously need help at running back still with Ramondre, Miles Sanders, Darrell Henderson, Melvin Gordon, and Zamir White. Nick Westbrook Akine goes. This Isaiah Spiller fall is really funny. You know what I'm going to do, though? No, I changed my mind. I am going to take another quarterback. We're locking down the Falcons, baby. Desmond Ridder. So Ridder and Mariota giving me the 2 guaranteed quarterbacks all year. 3 guaranteed quarterbacks, assuming health, in the late season. Little late surge. Little late Watson Ridder surge to come from behind and take down the ship. Now I need a tight end, and then let me think about this. Sitting on 7 wide receivers, yeah. Got to figure out if I'm taking 2 more. I'm definitely taking 1 more running back. Just got to figure out if I'm taking 2. Corbin takes that's got to be the best Isaiah Spiller value of all time. Omar was definitely. See, I'm happy I took Ridder because now that I know that you were going to take him. You have Carr and Daniel Jones, right? Yeah, Carr and Daniel Jones. See, isn't that insane though? About like you can like not ever really get locked out like that in a regular best ball draft. That's kind of it's the blessing and the curse of SuperFlex, but like it sucks when it happens to Omar, but it's good for everybody else. But it really is. It's a gift and a curse to try to. Huntley was nice. That was a good pick. There's probably another guy. Let me look at quarterback. Probably another little Joe Flacco action, little Sam Howell action, Minshew. Let me look. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Why does what is this Foles shit? Why is Foles ADP so high? Did I miss something? I must have missed something. Let's start looking through. Wide receiver's probably pretty bad. I don't have Browns, so I could look for one of these. I'm going to put DPJ. Is David Bell around? Oh, David Bell's gone. So, okay, that sucks. It would be like Harrison Bryant. Nah. Don't have much to stack with Watson. Damn, I did really want McKinnon. Here, I'm going to take Zach Moss. Pray to God that some of this from the preseason is a thing with Zach Moss. There's still some nice running backs here. I'm very much okay with this team. Son of a bitch. Who is that? Who are you? Scott? All right. Sniped on Gabe. You. Now I'm triggered. Again. Twice. God damn it. Okay, what bye week is Pitt's? 14. Tyler Conklin it is. God damn it. Really wanted Likely. Now I'm angry, and there goes DPJ. Not like it matters. Can't get Gabe. Can't get Likely. What's even the point if I can't get my fun little pet projects? He can play. He looks like he can play. Scott says. I agree. Ha! There we go. Payback to the room. Sorry, Chris. You got it because Scott and the seconds and whoever drafted out of 102 sniped from me. So I'm sniping Tyler Conklin from you. Devin is already giving in to defeat, taking his L. Now I'm gonna queue up a bunch of dudes and let's look. Running back is really not that bad. Not Trey Sermon though. Because wide receiver is bad, man. That's the interesting part is I would normally probably take, since I only need to fill 2 running back spots, I would probably normally take, I'm thinking, a wide receiver here just because, again, that 3 wide receiver spots and 2 running back spots. And obviously the wide receiver is more likely to hit into the flex. But I think it needs to be a running back here. Just because of what is left, right? I mean, The best wide receiver is Nelson Aguilar, Sterling Shepard, Brian Edwards. I mean, it's a bunch of guys that don't have an ADP. Wide receiver just got wiped out, and I can actually get at my weakest position, running back. So sometimes you just got to take what the room is going to give you. I got a guy. I got a couple guys. See, there's I draft a lot of these guys as it is in regular leagues. I don't draft any of those shitty ass wide receivers. Dearness, Chris Evans. There goes Chris Evans. I really like Amir Abdullah, but Gus is not going to be around. J.K. Dobbins is not ready. It is Mike Davis season. I need a little bit of early season juice. So we got the olds with Melvin Gordon and Mike Davis. And maybe Dobbins ain't ready for quite a while. We're layering our running backs. Here's how we finished. At quarterback, Lamar Jackson, and we punted it all the way down to pick 75 with Marcus Mariota. Attached on Deshaun Watson and the old handcuffing with Desmond Ridder. So we got the Atlanta quarterback room on lock, biding 11 weeks or 12 weeks or whatever it is to get to Deshaun Watson. I don't really like that, and I absolutely hate fucking drafting Deshaun Watson, but it is what it is. I think if you're, I really do. I mentioned this after the Watson ruling that if you are going to draft him, of which I am not on the other sites, but if you are going to draft him, the Atlanta situation is the one I like drafting him with the most personally. Obviously went with a little zero RB room. Lockdown Kyle Pitts at tight end. Stephon Diggs, Mike Williams, Cortland Sutton, Rashad Bateman stacked with Lamar, Devonta Smith, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Zay Jones at wide receiver. And then we just volumed it up at running back. Please, God, let these guys score some points. Ramondre Stevenson, Miles Sanders, Darrell Henderson, Melvin Gordon, Zamir White, Zach Moss, and Mike Davis. Mike Davis and the hopefully Miles Sanders if he's healthy, and the Melvin Gordons of the world. Please score me some points early in the year, just enough to get me by. Then we'll get a little Zamir White smash. Maybe Zach White steps into a big role. Maybe Henderson is the lead back for the Rams. Maybe Ramondre is the lead back for the Patriots. I'm feeling pretty good. About this team. I am still not totally in love with a full-blown zero RB team on drafters, but I think trying to do it like this is a good way to do it, right? Mike Davis is not a guy I particularly really like drafting. Melvin Gordon, I do draft Melvin Gordon at a good clip, but I'm not super bullish on him for the season. But in drafters, when I need that cumulative scoring early, week 1, week 2, week 3, I think some of these guys make a lot of sense. I appreciate you guys. That was a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to be firing some more SuperFlex teams. We'll be back on Monday. I got a couple more videos. I mentioned this in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, that's also down in the description. It's 100% free. Hop into the Spike Week Best Ball Discord. Got multiple more videos coming. Got Rob has a draft showcasing some of the tools, Draft IQ, and the draft overlays that you will see coming out soon. I have a draft review video coming out, walking through some of my teams and some of the teams that people have posted in the Discord. And then Rob and I are also hopping into a Best Ball Mania draft this weekend. So lots of content even coming out over the course of this weekend. And I forgot to mention, MLB Playoff Best Ball has launched, and our own Shane Newman has got the first article of kind of some MLB Playoff Best Ball strategy for Underdog's MLB Playoff contest. Shout out to you, Chris. Chris loves the overlays. Appreciate you. I love them too. They're very, very helpful. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Be on the lookout for more of that content, and I'll see you guys in some of the draft lobbies.